So, welcome back to Overruled. My name is Trevor Blanick alongside Jaden Rioch.
Howdy.
We got our friend from Gonzaga, Blake Fry.
Hello.
Gonzaga with a Z.
Like it says on his hoodie that you guys can't see. No, I'm blocking your hoodie, Blake.
Oh, man.
Mine's the Nuggets one.
So today we got a fun show. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. Well, we're going to start off with something that we were all there for and we all had a lot of fun with. So
Yeah, this is
let's
some
get
weird music choice, honestly, to begin it.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
approve, but...
Gabby Barrett
I was going to say Dalton had a good one, but, I guess whatever. We're going to throw Dalton's suggestion out for a song out the window.
It was one song. I love Gabby Barrett, and I wanted to play the song.
And it was bad.
Yeah.
No, never again. Oh, by the way, I get to choose a song next week, boys, because it's my birthday.
I apologize
Happy
already.
your birthday, Jaden.
Because I know
Thank
what
you.
song is going to play. So I've got audio queued up of what I'm talking about, so
Okay.
let's just listen to this. Let's have some...
Cool.
have
Don't make
fun
it too
with this
loud.
one. Don't plan on it. Let's...
Jokic into Paul. Here it goes. Got it. Got it. Denver has won.
So last night, Nikola Jokic hit a buzzer beater to win 99-98? No. 100 to 99.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought 99-98. But in any event, they won by 1 against Dallas last night. And even though I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's just Dallas, they're worse than the Lakers, a 1-point win is a 1-point win, and it's big. It was a huge win for the Nuggets because they needed to space themselves from Houston and Oklahoma City because they both lost their last games. And that's what they were able to do with that victory.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, like, I enjoy watching, like, the TNT, like, post-game stuff whenever they actually watch the Nuggets and actually have a game on. And it was one of those things, they were talking about Nikola Jokic, and they're like, wow, this guy, like, he didn't have a big impact onto the game until the fourth quarter, and then he kind of took over. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's what a superstar does, And it's one of those things that's kind of impressive to watch Jokic, have an impact on the game, and even take it over when he wasn't having his best night. So definitely something I enjoyed to watch.
Yeah. And, Paul Millsap had an amazing game. 36 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Wait, sorry. 33 points. I don't know why I said 36. But, it was a great game. But I know a lot of people kind of criticize Jokic for not, he didn't have a really good game overall. He almost ended up with a triple-double, but it wasn't until, that fourth quarter he really, started doing well for us. So it was a good game.
And that was what was so impressive to me. And Jaden and I were talking after the Doncic dunk to put him up at that point 1 and the missed and 1. They took a timeout, and it gave us 75 seconds to just kind of think. That's what it gave the Nuggets as well, obviously. But we were talking about who we wanted to take the last shot, and Jaden said Millsap.
Yeah, he was hot that night.
He was.
Yeah.
And
been nice with an alley-oop to Millsap and the game.
Yeah, but I said Jokic. And my reasoning with Jokic is just he's your best player. You live and die with your best player. If he makes the shot, that's what he's supposed to do. If he misses, you know what? You gave it to your best player.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like the game against San Antonio, I think it was Jamal missing at the buzzer. It's just one of those things where you have to put the ball in the hands of your best player.
Yeah.
And if you can't, even at the end of the first Memphis game where he was awful and they lost by 2 and he missed a 3 at the buzzer, he hadn't scored all night. But he's still your best player, and I understand the whole point of you don't want to – that was his first shot I think he took all night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I know that's not when you want to take that first shot of the game, but in a situation like that for Jokic, you want him to take that shot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, I think that's the thing that's nice about the Nuggets, though, is we can have a discussion of who you want to shoot. It's one of those things, Jamal's really clutch. It's one of those things, sometimes it's his night. Sometimes I want to feed him the rock. I understand, Nicola's the superstar, and everything, and he's our best player. But, I'd be fine with anyone on that court taking the shot except for Plumlee from 3. But he's 2 for 2, so I don't mind.
Well, and the other thing, what did the Mavericks shoot in the fourth quarter? It was, below 20%.
Well, they only
I
had
don't know
10 points in the
percentages,
fourth.
yeah, but
Well, they only had 10 points in the fourth quarter.
we outscored him 21-10.
that
It was
just
like a
says,
football game.
like what Trevor and I were talking about when we came up here, that's our defense, man. Like that just proves how good we are on defense in clutch situations like this. And that's gonna go further on in the playoffs, I think,
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, we are a young team, but I mean, we'll see where we get. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where the Nuggets go.
Well, you better know. No.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us knows, and that's the fun
I
part
know,
about
yeah.
this is, who knows where we'll go. We could go really far. We could end it really short. That's
Yeah.
the fun part about playoffs.
That was deep, Jaden. We could go really far. We could go really short.
I know. Yeah.
That was wow.
I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
That's philosophy with me.
So just a quick recap before we move on about
The
just
weather.
the NBA. Just to kind of tie it all back together. The Nuggets are a game back of the Warriors. The Warriors beat the Rockets, which, thank you.
Yeah. That was a good game, though.
I didn't watch a single second.
Oof, that game coming down to the last minute or whatever, the Rockets made that a heck of a game, honestly.
I didn't watch it either.
No,
so
it's a
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was a good game.
It was Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sorry,
I
was still recovering from a snowstorm.
Shut up.
Oh wow.
We're not talking about that
yes.
yet.
Not yet. I know.
What a diversion. I don't know what I'm just trying to say. I give up.
Well, no.
Hey, Trevor, could you say something, please, before I say something stupid?
Well, that ship has sailed. I'm sorry. I was texting my mom.
Hi,
Oh
Mom.
my gosh.
Hey, coming from you, Blake, mister, I would have to take a timeout every 35 seconds to text back my girlfriend when we were playing football and
man.
basketball and whatever.
Shout out to Lauren,
Back
who's
up.
in Spain.
That wasn't. No.
Uh-oh.
Did we mean to say Caitlin?
All right, let's move on.
No, we didn't mean to say that, but that was what was kind of implied. Can we please talk about basketball standings now like I wanted to?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
I mean, we're second in the West behind the Warriors.
Rockets in third.
Milwaukee and Toronto have already clinched.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
In
was
the East,
expecting.
no one's clinched in the West. But
Yeah, no.
Clippers holding on to that 8th seed. We would match up with San Antonio in the first round, which I do not like. I want to face the Clippers.
Really? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of
yeah.
instead the Jazz. I was like, out of the three on the bottom there, I'd rather face Clippers first. I'd love to face, then the Spurs, and then the Jazz. I don't want to see the Jazz. They scare me.
Yeah, the Jazz they're pretty good.
Well, they're just a really good defensive team, and that's what worries me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
And
even...
we always struggle against them. Like, I don't know.
Which makes sense. I mean, they're division rivals.
When
We're not-
Utah's a hard place to play, too.
Russell
Especially when
Westbrook
people are
would
yelling
know.
at you.
Oh, man. That sign. I don't want to
Ugh.
repeat it, but this is my one time to go crazy, so beware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake, did you see that sign?
No. What was the sign?
We can
Fine,
show
I'll-
it to you later.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it was...
You know, it's funny.
It's peak Utah. Like, what else would you expect?
Yeah. Sko Utes, am I right?
Excuse me?
Sko Utes.
No, go MSU
No, I'm just
Denver.
kidding. Sko Buffs. See you for
Hold up that
yeah.
L, Utah. Y'all just lost to Oregon.
Yep.
Oof.
Big time. I think
But
it was,
anyways.
66-54.
Wow, that's hate towards our Utah
I mean,
listeners.
Are the Nuggets are a game behind in the West, right? For
Yeah.
first seed.
Yeah. And
I
they
don't know,
hold
do-
the tiebreaker, the Warriors.
Would you want to be first seed though? Like,
Well, it depends who's the 8th seed. I don't care who we play in terms of...
yeah.
I don't care what seed we are. I mean, obviously, I want to be top 4. But if we get a favorable first-round matchup, that's really all I want. Top 2, just because we've been there the entire season, would just feel so good to finish it off.
Yeah.
But a division title and a top 3
Well, we
seed,
should-
I guess.
We should win our division.
We should.
Yeah, we're like 4 games up right now.
Yeah.
3.5, 4.
No, it's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I don't know. It's one of those things, though, to be honest. I mean, if we're the... I mean, I'd prefer us to be the 2 seed because... Or, no, the 1 seed because I'd rather play the Trailblazers or, Trailblazers are who, the Thunder? I mean, those teams I'd rather play than the Rockets. The Rockets are hot right now, so...
Well,
Yeah, I
momentum
mean-
means crap heading into the playoffs in basketball.
I mean,
I
you
don't
look-
know.
look
I'd hate to play the
Look
Rockets.
at the picture right now. If we beat San Antonio, we'd either play Utah or
Wow.
Houston.
Got the picture pulled up.
I know, which would be kind of hard. But if we were in the number 1 seed, we'd be playing OKC, Portland, or Clippers if it was stemmed right now. But I don't know. Interesting. And then there's the Eastern Conference, and that's just
The Eastern Conference.
somehow Miami's in there.
Like
Go Miami.
the East or like the playoff picture? Because I
The
can tell
playoff
you,
picture.
I
No,
can
yeah, the
tell you
playoff
why
picture.
Miami's in the East.
Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah.
They're in Miami.
That'll be the first graphic we put up. A map of Miami.
Here you go, Blake. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the best playoff matchup would probably be the 76ers and the Celtics in the first round. That I can't wait to watch, honestly, if that stands.
I think the Sixers blow them out. Sixers are so much better than the Celtics.
No.
You got Kyrie, man.
I'd take the Celtics in 6.
That's because you're a Celtics fan.
Hey, no, because, well, I mean, they'd go back to Boston for a Game 6. But, I mean, honestly, I'd say Celtics have more talent.
Yeah, but
than
what
the
about the first 2? Wait. What?
What do you mean?
How do they have the 20-year-old? He's only 20, but
Tatum. Yeah, they have Tatum, Kyrie. I'll take Al Horford point guard. Like, I'll take all those boys before I'd take the 76ers. I don't know.
Didn't the Sixers beat? No, the Cavs beat the Celtics last year.
Yeah, in Eastern Conference Finals.
Didn't the Celtics beat them in 5? The Sixers.
Yeah.
But the Sixers are a lot better.
Well, they
this
added
year.
Jimmy Butler and Tobias and Boban.
The Boban.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I still like the Celtics in a series, but I mean, definitely could swing either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all you have to add?
I mean, I don't know, man.
If y'all are out of what you want to talk about, let's move on to college basketball.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you so excited? Gonzaga lost.
That's a good point.
Well, we don't. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
So,
no, it's not.
So St. Mary's is going to the tournament, which is
Sadly
not good news for bubble teams.
no.
You were
it's
thinking
not.
Gonzaga was going to win that tournament and just be the lone bait out of the West Coast.
No. Yeah.
If you're a bubble team and you see a team like St. Mary's pull off the upset, it's a death sentence, especially if you've already lost your conference tournament.
Yeah.
At that point, you know, if you're a bubble team heading into the into your conference tournament anyways, you win the darn thing.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But if you're a bubble team and you don't win, and then it's going to happen every single year. You have teams that aren't supposed to win their conference tournament win their conference tournament. You see it. That's why you don't see an only one-seeded Final Four. Lower seeds win.
Yep.
And that's what happened St. Mary's in the West Coast, which is fun. I mean, Gonzaga is still going to be a 1 seed, but the main issue here is
Debatable.
for the bubble teams, one just got knocked off.
Yep.
Out of the pool of the bubble teams, one's gone.
Yeah.
And that's just a byproduct of not playing your best basketball. And it's unfortunate that you have 2 different types of bubble teams. You have the mid-majors who have been playing fantastic, and you have the Power Fives who've been playing like crap. And just because of resume, you're traditionally going to put the Power 5 in. It's just how it works. And it's
what are those bubble teams? I have to look.
One of them's Indiana.
and they're done.
Yeah.
With St. Mary's winning and them losing last
Isn't there,
night,
like
they're done.
Belmont too? I saw them somewhere.
Bruins.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Belmont.
I don't know. I don't get the point of bubble teams. Like, it's one of those things like
What's-
first 4 in, first 4 out.
what do
It's
you
like,
mean?
That's so stupid.
Oh yeah, so you got like NC State, Clemson.
How's
NC
NC
State might be in. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
They
I mean,
play
It'll
the
be close.
ACC.
This is an article.
Come
So.
on.
Oklahoma should be in.
There's some work
TCU,
to do.
Texas, I don't know. Oh, Seton Hall should make it. I mean,
Yeah.
they've really. St. John's, I think, might be out. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I think you make a good point there with St. Mary's winning. It kind of sucks for those bubble teams, but I mean, it's just it's like March, man. Like that's what makes March so great, Like the underdogs come up and win, and I go to Gonzaga. It sucks to see my team lose, but I think we needed that loss. We were like above a 20-game win streak, and we were heading into March. And I think we needed that loss, to be honest with you. So I don't know. We'll see where it takes us, but
That's so much baloney. Every
What?
team that loses says they need a loss.
dude, come on. We were on a 20.
Duke needed a loss. They could never be undefeated. There'd be too much expectations. Kansas lost even though they're the best team in the country. They lost because they needed some losses. They needed some perseverance. They needed some difficult times.
So they didn't win the
CSU's losing
championship?
because they need some difficult
I
times,
mean-
all right? They can't make the tournament every year, okay? Like,
Or
come
at
on.
all.
You need some adversity.
The
That's what
adversity
every
is
team could
themselves
say.
as being a bad team.
Yeah, and every
Yeah.
team could say that. So
I
you
mean,
don't need a
even-
loss. You'd prefer a win. Don't lie to
Well,
yourself.
yeah, I know.
No, but it makes sense. It teaches you how to play. When was the last
so
close game
baloney.
Gonzaga had played in?
I mean, they lost to Tennessee and UNC. I would not consider UNC a close game because we got them
No,
all.
I mean,
but yeah.
It's like
would it be
102 to
even back
90.
to Washington?
I mean, maybe
their win over
I
Washington.
would say either Washington or Tennessee was our last
And-
closest game. That was beginning of the year.
And I know, and my whole point with that is, in that situation, it is good to lose. Not
Yeah.
good to lose, but it reteaches you how to play in a close game.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd rather have an experience of losing in the conference tournament than facing a 16 seed.
Yeah, that's true.
Like why does it matter if they lose in the conference title game? It doesn't make a difference. They're still going to be the one
it's
seed.
just the WCC, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe ACC or Pac-12, bigger name, you know, might mean a little bit more, but yeah.
I just think it's stupid to say you need a loss. Like, you don't need losses.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it doesn't.
It doesn't necessarily. I mean, we should be a number 1 seed. We'll see. I don't know, but
Well, like I said, if you
Yeah.
guys wouldn't have lost, then you guys wouldn't say you need a loss. Like,
yeah,
you're not
true.
asking for a loss. It's not like, oh my God,
I mean, I
we
look
need a
at it-
loss. We need a loss. Someone provide us a loss. Like, as soon as you get the loss, then you're like, oh, we needed that.
I look at it as like, you know, the only thing that we lost in this situation is we didn't win the WCC championship.
Yeah, you'll still get a 1 seed.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things like what you guys lost out on wasn't as big. So you could say
Yeah.
a loss didn't
Yeah.
affect you, but I don't see
That's-
a loss ever helping.
Oh, a loss can definitely help.
No,
The 2 times that Broncos started off with long winning streaks,
I could care less. If
They
you
lost-
win, everyone's happy.
they lost to the
Jaden's getting
Colts
heated
and they
next
made
to me
the
over
Super
here.
Bowl both years.
No, but to me, it's stupid. You don't need a loss. Like, it's one of those things. Like in
It
football, it's
resets you.
Well, in football, it's different.
How is it different?
Well, because it's one of those things you're bound to lose. I mean, unless you're the Patriots, but they didn't need a loss till a
Oh,
Super
no.
Bowl,
what are you
I guess.
talking about? College basketball, UCLA was like the last. Was it UCLA or Houston the last undefeated? It doesn't happen.
Well,
So
it's-
what are you talking about that you're bound to lose in football but not in college
Well,
basketball?
no, I'm not saying that you're not bound
But that's
to
literally
lose.
what you just said.
No, I said you're bound to lose, but it's one of those things I'm saying, but if it's a game that you're supposed to win, then you shouldn't lose. I mean, it's one of those things, it's kind of like the same thing in the NBA. It's one of those things like you're bound to lose games, but it's like you would prefer to win games, and if you're winning, that means you're doing well. So, like,
There's a difference
bad
between
game,
losing to St. Mary's in your conference championship game than losing to Phoenix at home.
Yeah.
That doesn't help anybody if you lose to Phoenix.
Well,
It doesn't help Phoenix.
anyone
It doesn't
that you
help
lost to St. Mary either.
But it teaches the players how to play back in close games. They hadn't played in probably 2 or
They've
3
probably
months.
played in plenty of close games in high school and college and stuff. Who
Yes,
cares?
but when you get into the
But, like,
comfort
as
zone
a
of having your
like,
walk-ons
this
play
team
for
this
10
year,
minutes a
yeah.
game, when you're
it's just-
blowing out every team by 40, you kind of lose the touch of how to play in close games. You don't know how to make those big
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Get in a tougher conference
Well,
then.
do you guys have any predictions for the Final Four?
Well, Michigan's gonna make it.
I mean,
Huh.
Michigan's they dropped down 3 seeds at the beginning of the week, so
Wait, 3 seeds or spots in the
They're-
rankings?
rankings. So they're ranked number 10 in the top 25, but obviously that was at the beginning of the week. So
Yeah.
No, Michigan's definitely gonna make it. No doubt in my mind.
I say North Carolina, Virginia. Those are, I think, given.
Well, what if Virginia's a 1 seed?
Well, yeah, we're obviously, and Gonzaga, hopefully, and then
Whoa, you just said Final Four, and you're saying more after you named 4 teams.
no,
Does
I don't
anyone
know.
know how to count?
I think
I mean, I think Duke's a given if
I
they
think
have
Duke,
Zion.
Kentucky are dangerous for sure. But I
Duke,
just
if
don't
Zion
know.
plays, I really think Kentucky as well. But I would
I don't
love
know.
to see a Duke versus Kentucky, a college Blue Bloods rivalry
That'd be cool. Yeah.
in the championship game, because they played opening night and Duke beat
Yeah.
Kentucky by 35, something like
As
that.
soon as we get a bracket, I could tell you who I think is
Yeah,
going to win or lose. But it's one of those things. It's just so based on
yeah.
matchups. Like, to me,
Well,
it's
it
one of
is,
those
but
things.
you
Like,
just-
honestly, based
Who are
on
the 4
talent-
best teams?
Well, the 4 best teams, in my opinion, are in the ACC. Nah, 2 of them are. North Carolina and Duke, and then
Yeah,
I don't
I'd
know.
have to agree with
Then I'd
that.
have to go down the list, and I don't know. Talent-wise, you'd go Kentucky and
Houston.
I don't
No.
Yeah,
No,
not
I could see
Houston.
again. That's matchup based, but
Well, yeah,
You're
exactly.
leaving out
Kentucky-
Virginia.
Kentucky,
West Virginia.
West
that's-
Virginia.
They won.
They win. Yeah.
Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't have North Carolina in there. I have Duke and Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of pure talent, those are the 4 teams I have, and that isn't. I hate UNC, but I also hate Duke.
I'm
so
not
it's
gonna lie. I don't think
biased.
Gonzaga's making the Elite 8. I don't think.
Well, they
make it
better.
there. They lose
I
in the
already
Sweet
booked
16.
my ticket to the Final Four, so
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it was Southwest, so I can always refund it. But
Was that a plug?
that was a plug. Southwest is awesome.
Are they
but,
paying us?
Even though they delayed my flight by 5 hours, that's okay.
Wait, why
Did they
they
really?
There was like a hole in the plane. I don't know.
Wait.
There's
Yeah,
a hole in the
That's a
plane.
long story. They put like duct tape on it. It was,
Wait.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, did you not take a picture?
No, dude.
Why
Like
didn't you take a picture of
it
the
wasn't.
hole
No,
in
no,
your
no. It was like
plane?
It was like microscopic.
So it took 5 hours to put duct tape on
Yes.
the hole?
I don't know, dude. Spokane Airport.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It was awful.
Wow. That was,
But anyways.
So looking at
huh.
current games around the conference tournament, y'all
Yeah.
think UConn has a chance against Houston?
no, they're losing right now.
Darn it! I hope
they?
you didn't know because they're losing by
Yeah, like 20.
39.
Yeah, I was going to
I
say
didn't even
something
have that pulled up. How'd
stupid.
you know that?
No, because we looked at it earlier.
But speaking of bubble watch, Ohio State versus Michigan State. Ohio State's within 1 with 17
Yeah.
minutes left.
Well, MSU better win.
Metro State University or
Dang right.
Yeah.
And
no.
LSU's up 10 on Florida. Florida's a bubble team.
Yeah, they are.
That's a big game for them.
I think LSU will win though.
Nebraska, Wisconsin. Nebraska's a bubble team. If Nebraska doesn't win, I think they're out.
Well, yeah,
Auburn,
definitely.
South Carolina. How in the world is South Carolina a higher seed?
They're a bubble team. No,
No, they're 16 and 15. Auburn's a lower seed, but they're 23 and 9. So Auburn's clinched, but because of conference record, South Carolina's the higher seed.
Yeah,
That's
man.
something. Central Michigan, Buffalo's going to the tournament. Yeah.
Let's go Cleo Mac.
Xavier's a bubble team. That's the semis of the Big East. Florida State, Virginia, that'll just be a fun game, but it doesn't really mean anything.
CU plays Washington tonight, Trevor.
Alabama plays
I know.
Kentucky. Alabama could be considered a bubble team.
Well,
Minnesota, Purdue. Minnesota's a bubble team, and Purdue is in the quarters there. Iowa State's a bubble team, and they face Kansas State. SMU faces Cincinnati.
So many
No.
bubble teams.
I
Number
hope-
3. Duke UNC. I didn't mean to rhyme, but it just kind of happened. But
I'd say-
what I'm about to say for this applies to what I'm going to say for CU Washington. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times in the season, and especially assuming Zion's shoes don't decide to explode.
And North Carolina's still winning.
And the big,
yeah.
it's going to be a huge crowd because they're playing up at where the Hornets play, Spectrum
Yeah.
Center.
I mean, it really is like a neutral site. I mean,
It's the Tobacco Road rivalry at a neutral site, an NBA-sized
great.
arena. So you're going to get
it's gonna be a great game.
19,000 people there to watch Duke UNC. And that, again, this goes back to our prior conversations about playoff experience. You can't tell me that a 19,000 person game with everyone screaming is going to be is not going to be as important as a game against Phoenix with 7,500 people there in October when you're winning by 40. Maybe in terms of NBA experience, but in terms of winning close physical games, this does more than a game against Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you lose that game against Phoenix. But, you know.
I think it'll be a great matchup. I mean, North Carolina's got Kobe White. He's
Let's
a
go
beast.
Kobe.
He's a beast, dude.
Yeah, Kobe.
He can shoot the ball.
Reincarnation
And
of
then
Kobe.
you got Zion. It'll be a great game, but honestly, I think I don't know. We'll see. I think Duke will probably win that game. It'll make things interesting.
Is
for
that
sure.
going by your heart or by your brain there? Because you
I
said,
don't know, man.
I mean,
You look at Duke though; they got Barrett, they got Zion. I mean, they got all these studs, man. And it's just hard.
Studs don't always
It's
win.
really hard to say that they're gonna lose, but sometimes obviously they've lost. But now that Zion's back, I don't know.
I mean, I saw something where Zion has only played like 30 seconds or something against North Carolina in both
Yeah,
matchups.
'cause,
Because he wasn't playing in the first
didn't-
one,
yeah.
and then
No,
the second one he blew out his shoe.
No, it was reversed. He blew out his
I don't
shoe in
care.
the first, and then
and then he's
Trevor,
injured in the
I
second.
said
Yeah.
it, okay?
I know you said it, but
Yeah,
you
this is like
got it
I mean,
wrong.
third game. I think Duke has to take it.
Duke
Yeah.
has to take it.
They have to.
I actually think they do have to, because if you go into a tournament without being able to beat a team like North Carolina,
Yeah,
how
I
are you
mean-
going to beat a Gonzaga who they already lost to? Well, think of it this way. If they lose to North Carolina 3 times, they'll be 0-4 against 2 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Be the first time Duke's gone 0-3 against an opponent since Wake Forest and Tim Duncan.
Is this an actual
Wow.
fact?
Yeah,
That is
what's
actually
saying
fact. Yeah, no, this is a thing.
Wow.
Speaking of going 3-0, tonight, the Pac-12 semis, you
Yeah.
have Oregon versus Arizona State at, I don't know, probably 9:30. The game I'm most
Wow, you
looking
don't know?
Yeah.
because
Come on, Trevor.
I only care
gotta have
about one
times.
game.
Come on.
Oh,
Colorado,
Boosie.
Washington, and Washington beat CU twice already this year. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, and the momentum's shifted. And momentum doesn't mean anything heading into tournaments, but Washington's in their heads. Colorado is playing confidently. I mean, they get Alex Bay, their best player, into foul trouble. Is it Alex? Did I say that? Did I forget his name?
Hey, Bay.
I just yell his last name.
Just say Bay. I don't mind. Jason Bay. Alex Bay.
I was wrong.
Oh, it's not Alex?
I don't think so.
I'm disappointed in you, Trevor. Don't you know your athletics better than this?
I thought so.
Oh, Grand Canyon
Tyler
University
Bay.
plays tonight.
Why did I mess that up? It's Tyler.
GCU plays tonight?
Yeah.
Why do
Who
I
do
care?
they play?
Who do I
Utah
care?
Valley.
Utah Valley?
Wow.
What's that for?
The
Nothing.
Is that for the championship
No,
yet? Or
it's
no?
the semis.
They'll
But,
lose.
I can't believe I'm sorry,
No,
Tyler Bay.
Sorry, Bay.
Since we live in Colorado, and I like the Buffs.
Do
You know?
you really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And I
Give me your take.
really hope that Colorado beats Washington tonight.
Wow.
I
Probably
really
not
do.
as much as me.
Well, yeah, maybe not as much.
But
as
you're
you.
in the state of Washington. How could you not be biased?
Because he's a Gonzaga
Yeah.
fan.
No, that's the joke.
I think if Colorado wins that game, I mean, like we said, Trevor, before, I think they have the favorite to win the championship for the not like the NCAA championship, but I mean
they better.
the Pac-12
High expectations
championship.
now.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you beat UW, you're the best team apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, did you know that?
Fire take.
Skip Bayless.
No, I agree
Wow.
with that statement. I really do think that if CU is able to beat Washington, they're going to win the tournament.
Mhm.
And we've already beaten Arizona State. And I know it was a different Oregon team, but we beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to go. It would be the rubber match against Arizona State. We tied 1-1, and then we'd play Oregon for the second time overall. I just have a hard time seeing a situation in which, I mean, besides the literal them losing, but if they beat Washington, them not just winning the championship because they're playing confidently. And momentum means nothing coming into the tournament, but once you're in the tournament, they struggled against Cal and then blew the doors off Oregon State.
You make it sound so easy. Just beat Washington. Might as well give them the trophy then.
I mean,
That'd
just
be
in
easy,
terms of
but-
Oregon is I think if CU loses and
I mean, I don't know,
Oregon
to me, I
wins,
feel like the
Oregon wins the
opposite.
championship. If CU wins and Oregon loses, CU wins the championship. CU-Oregon is going to be the best championship game.
To
They're
me,
the
it's
two
one of
best
those
teams
things,
coming
like,
into this.
honestly, it could be like reverse. Like you're all hyped up for Washington, and you're like, "Yo, like I just took down the big dog," and then like you go into the next game, you already think you won it, and you lose that game. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
It's a conference tournament. You don't do that.
Sure, you can.
You don't have enough time to do that.
Well, they have a day.
They,
24
no,
hours.
I
I
can
mean,
think about things in 24 hours.
but it's
just thought
so
about
hard.
something
It's
in
so
1
much
minute.
harder to get yourself confident because it'll have been their 4th game in 4 days if
How's
they
it
win
hard to
against.
get yourself confident in 24 hours? It's stupid.
In terms of, they're just going to be mentally and physically exhausted. They're not going to let themselves get ahead of them.
So because you're tired, you don't think ahead.
That's not what I said. I said they're too, like, you understand that when it's typically in football games where you have an entire week to prepare, you see teams losing to Cleveland and stuff because
Still
they don't
Cleveland.
prepare.
Nah, Cleveland's
Well,
good.
In this situation, you don't have enough time to prepare and dismiss the opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that conference tournaments are what really make teams good because you can't prepare.
if Colorado made it, if they won the championship, that brings up another thing about another bubble team being knocked out, right?
Oh yeah, and Colorado is I think they're NIT right now.
Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
they
that'd be
win
crazy.
the conference championship, they clearly get the auto bid into NCAA. And yeah, another bubble team.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
It's survival of the fittest with the bubble teams.
Yeah. Seriously.
And they, especially the ones that lost to the 1 seed or whatever in their conference tournament, there's nothing they can do about it now except watch on the couch and hope the teams that are already in the
Yeah,
tournament
get
win.
some potato chips, maybe some popcorn. Watch.
Yeah,
A
grab a
little
soda.
Make it a little bit more enjoyable.
Actually, they got to be healthy. You can't grab a
Maybe
soda.
put
They
on the
need a
notebook
water.
or something. I don't know.
The Notebook? Why wouldn't they watch the games?
Because they want to cry. I don't know.
Well, if they wanted to cry, couldn't they also just watch the games?
Wow.
Well, you got 2 there, so should we move on?
There's a chance they could be happy.
Okay.
So before we move on,
Let's go,
Good job,
Zags.
Blake.
well, not before we move on, just a quick little topic. I want to talk about the
The
storm we had
weather.
on Wednesday.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bomb
weather report.
cyclone. Oh my gosh! Did you know
Oh.
the pressure equals a Category 2 hurricane, boys? Let's go. Weather nut.
You're wrong.
I don't care.
Okay. No. So the bomb cyclone we got hit with has a central pressure equal to a Category 2 hurricane. We didn't have the pressure here of a Cat 2.
Sorry.
I don't remember. I think it was Iowa where the center of the storm was. That's where it had that extremely low pressure.
Sorry, Iowa.
Well, I mean, but we still got winds with gusts up to 70, 75 miles an hour, which...
The highest being 97 miles per hour down at Colorado Airport or whatever, Colorado Springs Airport. You're welcome.
Trevor's like, what the?
Well, I mean, he I don't even know what to say anymore about him.
I provide the stats and
No,
the facts.
I pulled up some stats.
On the storm?
Yeah, on the storm.
Yeah, and I was reading them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 5,000 people who are sleeping in DIA because their flights were
it's
canceled.
bad. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of flights got
4,000 sleeping kits or whatever were
The
given
issue
out.
for me is
driving.
you
Hey,
knew
shut
about
up,
this
he's
storm.
talking.
You knew about this storm coming in. How
Yeah.
hard would it have been to change your plans to say, "Oh, maybe let's not fly into the blizzard"?
Yeah.
Because everyone knew this was happening. We've been predicting this for a week.
I canceled my basketball plans because of it.
Well, only because I made you.
This is true.
Because you were still gonna do it.
I probably would have, honestly. Ain't no cyclone going to stop me from balling. Ball is life.
What about I-25 closing? Would that have stopped you? You would have actually died
I
if you
could have
tried to
floored
play
it.
basketball.
Why not? No.
It was how many inches did we get?
They can't close the highway. It's still a road.
We didn't get like a foot, but
We got a lot though, and it's hard to
Yeah.
tell because of
Of the
how
wind.
hard it was blowing. So
Yeah.
they created drifts.
yeah.
It's difficult to see.
It was scary.
If I had to bet, we probably got 7 or 8 inches.
Yeah, I was going to
Down.
say, I had none in my yard, but on my driveway it was like 6 or 7 inches. And it was like,
you
holy
also
Wait,
live in
what?
Castle Rock.
Yeah, because it blew off because of the wind.
Off of the lawn onto the driveway?
Yeah. It kind of sucks. So there's like nothing there, and then all of a sudden you had a giant pile on your driveway, and you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
thanks, wind.
Yeah,
I
we
love
probably
you.
had 5 or 6 inches on the driveway and probably close to a foot off on the lawn.
Really?
But yeah, it was a crazy storm, and a lot of people lost power, which is actually why we had a delayed
There's
start.
445,000 homes.
We had a delayed start yesterday because
Oh, I didn't
of-
have school yesterday.
of power. Well, you didn't have school the day before that or the day before that.
Yeah, he's on spring break, boys.
Yep.
That'd be why the kid from Gonzaga is here in Colorado.
Yeah, we forgot to address that. My bad, Blake.
Hey, it's okay.
No, but that was such an incredible storm to see. Just from the radar to actually being in the storm, especially from a safe distance. I
I know
didn't
nothing
drive.
about the storm, but it took me 3 hours to get home for a half an hour drive, so that storm was stupid. Thank you, storm.
I told you it was going to happen.
I know, but I couldn't really change my plans much, so.
You could have. I mean,
No, not really. Not for that.
you could have pushed it a day before.
Well, how is the doctor's there when the doctor's there, Trevor? Can't really fix that. God.
Well, I mean, if the storm killed you, that doctor's appointment probably would have been
Oh, it was funny.
meaningless.
He was from Castle Rock, too, and he's like, well, I hope I don't die on the way home. And I was like,
See,
well,
exactly.
I hope you don't die either.
Alrighty then. This has been Talking with Jaden. I want to talk about NFL free agency.
I was just pulling that up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were. No lies.
No lies.
Why would he lie?
I don't know.
There's nothing to be gained.
think-
No one can see his computer.
So I think like the biggest thing obviously is Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
Big
although
trade.
not free agency, but
Oh, yeah, big
still
trades.
very
yeah, yeah.
important.
Big
I mean, the-
movements. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
So the trade to send Odell Beckham Jr. to Cleveland,
First and a
Jabril
third
Peppers.
and Jabril.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
nuts.
that's the people getting the cops called on them for running around the streets of Cleveland yelling.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
I don't blame them. For a team,
They're exciting.
pick a team that has been has been as maligned as the Browns in the last 17 years. And
The
you
Lions.
Broncos.
the Lions have made the playoffs. I think-
Jaguars.
They've made an AFC championship.
Well, they had Blake Bortles.
Who is now?
The boat, who's now a free agent. Broncos, you got to
He's
sign.
No.
probably gonna be a
Yo,
Patriot.
John Elway, if you're listening, please sign the boat. I'd love
John
you
Elway, if
forever.
you're listening, please turn this off
Yeah.
because don't listen to them.
No,
I
you
mean-
need to sign the boat.
Le'Veon Bell to the Jets.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that he ended up signing for less than what the Steelers
I know.
offered. I think it was quite clear he didn't want to go back to Pittsburgh.
No. I mean, It's a
And Pittsburgh's
it's
a
bad
broken
there.
franchise
no, it's
now.
really bad.
You have Juju Smith-Schuster and
you have Big Ben.
That's about it.
You have Big Ben as your quarterback.
You have one B of
And
the triple
are
B.
they even planning for? I know they have a backup. I don't remember. Is
I
it?
don't know.
They have Joshua Dobbs, and then they have that guy from Oklahoma State. Are you talking about quarterback?
Oh, Mason Rudolph. That's
Yeah.
right. They have Mason Rudolph, and I really like Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how well he'd fit into a pro offense. And I know they ran the air raid at Oklahoma State,
that's what I
that
was about to
spread
say.
formation.
Yeah.
So he can throw it, especially with Smith-Schuster and not having Bell. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to develop talent really well. I have a good eye for talent, so I wouldn't be necessarily too concerned about them.
You
but
have a good eye for talent.
always. No, they do. I said the Steelers have a good eye
I
for
thought you said
talent.
you. I was like,
No,
what?
yeah. No,
No,
I can
Jaden
just
has-
look and I'm like, wow, that
No,
guy's a
yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Pittsburgh has developed really good offensive linemen
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I
Be
mean,
interesting. I don't know how the Jets are gonna do with Le'Veon Bell, but
they won't make the playoffs.
I think they could.
No.
I mean, it depends how well Sam Darnold
The
plays.
AFC's too stacked.
Did you just say the SEC or the AFC?
I said the AFC. Do you need me to talk a little bit closer?
Actually, yes.
Oh, excuse me. I'll scoot up
Oh, I
here.
can hear you.
ASMR with me. Hey,
no,
boys.
no.
So the Giants
Um,
aren't going to make the playoffs.
former Super Bowl champion Earl Thomas, he signed with
the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they cut Eric Weddle. Weddle went to the
Weddle-
Rams?
Yeah, I
he
think
went
the
to
Rams.
the Rams. Yeah, and then
I honestly the Rams. I mean, they're up there again for contention.
Landon
Yeah.
Collins then went to the Redskins. So yeah,
Nick Foles.
went to the Jaguars.
I know. How do you feel about that?
He replaced the boat, so I hate him now, but respect him.
How old is Nick Foles?
I don't
I think
know.
he's 30, 31, something. I mean, he's
He
been playing
has
for a
a
while.
$88 million contract.
Yeah, for 4 years.
And Dalton and I were talking, and he asked,
contract.
do you really
No
think
way.
Nick Foles is worth the contract? And I
Yeah.
said, if he can win a Super Bowl for Jacksonville, he's worth
Mm-hmm.
every penny the organization can give him. And
Yeah.
that's the end goal.
I mean, I think
it's
he's a sleeper for sure.
It's so stupid to try to decide whether contracts are good. And I mean, there's
Well, your
definitely
contract
some,
is relative,
especially in the
honestly.
NFL.
Yeah.
Like the value of a contract, like you just said, is relative to the performance. If this player, you think he's overrated and he ends up playing very, very well, then he's worth it. That's why I hate trying to determine now if contracts are bad.
Yeah, down the
You
road.
can only determine a contract if it's bad if they've continually shown that they don't deserve it with that team.
Yeah.
And Nick Foles, as he just signed, hasn't proven one way or another. So I just think it's kind of dumb that you're trying to say that he's not worth his contract yet, even though he hasn't played. And that's my whole thing is, if he can win a Super Bowl, he's worth every penny.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And that's the end goal here.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever it takes at that point. I mean, that franchise was on the cusp of a Super Bowl and didn't get over the hump, and they think it's their quarterback. So if they can get that fixed, and they truly think that's the problem, and they can get to a Super Bowl, more power to them. I don't care what they pay them. If they can get to a Super Bowl, I don't think
it's
they
not your
care
money.
either.
Why would you care?
Well, exactly. Well, I'm just saying. Well, I prefer the Colts win, so please unsign him. No. So, yeah.
I think what's interesting, the Broncos.
interesting?
Obviously, they traded for Joe Flacco.
Uh-huh.
They get Hireman.
Howerman.
No, it's
Yeah, they
Hireman.
re-signed him.
It's
Okay.
Hireman.
Okay.
Blake
It's
said it right.
Hireman?
Got
I thought it was
Kareem
Howerman.
Jackson and then Jawan James.
Jawan James is going to be interesting for me.
I
Yeah.
think I'll be.
Let's go right tackle.
That's a lot of money in total too. So
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that with John Elway deciding to do that?
He played for the Dolphins.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I like the deal, but I just don't like. It seems like ever since that offseason we got DeMarcus Ware and TJ
Yeah.
Ward and I think also Aqib Talib,
Yeah, it was.
he just kind of lost his sense of free agency. Because who's the best free agent we've picked up since that offseason?
Juwan James.
I mean, even drafting as well. His last draft was heavily influenced by Kubiak, and that's why he was so successful.
I mean, we
But-
had that quarterback, and then obviously he got in trouble. I forget his name.
Oh, Chad Kelly.
But Chad Kelly, it's still
Chad
a
Kelly.
7th round pick.
But
Yeah.
he had potential, man.
I agree.
And
but-
then he did his thing.
Yeah.
He didn't even do. I mean, he did something bad. Obviously, I'm not condoning what
He
he
went
did.
into a house.
But they didn't find any drugs or alcohol, which is just beyond me how that's possible. But if that's the case, I know he's had problems in his past, but if you're struggling to find a quarterback, and the fact that we end up trading Keenum the very next season,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't necessarily think Keenum was the problem in Denver. I think
He wasn't. It was an awful offensive scheme.
Line and
Well, it was an offensive line issue. It was an offensive game plan that was just terrible. Keenum isn't a great quarterback,
when he had no wide
but it wasn't
receivers
his
at the
fault.
end, so.
yeah, our best wide receiver is probably Sanders now.
Yeah, it was Sutton because Sanders got
Sutton,
injured.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Sanders was gone. Sanders blew his Achilles. Thomas was traded, and then he blew his Achilles.
Yeah.
Rip Thomas.
Well, and then Philip Lindsay got injured against the Raiders.
It
so,
didn't
I mean,
matter.
by week 17, it was Keenum and Sutton. So.
Keenum, Sutton,
And then
a whole
Butt got
bunch.
injured, and then
Well, think of that.
Howardman-
We had
Hireman, whatever.
Chris Harris break his leg against Cincinnati. I still think we would have made the playoffs, and we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. So it's an interesting conversation to have. Would you rather the higher draft pick, or would you rather have made the playoffs? And
Yeah.
for me, with such a young team in the NFL, I would have liked for them to have gotten playoff experience. It wouldn't have meant anything to me if Lindsey wasn't there. Why are you smiling?
Did you just say that they'd make the playoffs, the Broncos, if Chris Harris didn't get injured?
Well, Chris Harris got injured. Emmanuel Sanders blew his Achilles the week after. We were tied for the playoffs after the game against Cincinnati.
Okay. No further questioning, Your Honor.
I don't think Jaden agrees.
And then
No,
the
I
game
didn't.
against Pittsburgh, Matt Paradis got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were on a winning streak, and
Oh,
then
now he's
everybody
gone.
got hurt.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't gone yet.
Yeah, he
We're-
did. He re-signed. Or
Well-
he didn't re-sign. He signed with someone else. I forgot who he did, but he left.
I thought we were trying to renegotiate. I thought we were
Yeah,
trying
he's
to
already
negotiate
gone.
with
I don't
him.
know who he signed with, but I read somewhere he's gone. So.
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
what about your Colts, man?
Oh, they are fantastic.
You got another wide receiver.
Yeah, we did. We got
Oh,
Devin
yeah,
Funchess.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had him in fantasy.
Really?
He's
Yeah,
good,
he's really
but-
good. He's a good deep threat.
Yeah.
So hopefully it helps spread out the offense. I mean, that's the thing about the Colts is they don't have a lot of fantastic wide receivers. They have Ty and
That's
some
it.
boys.
T.Y.,
Yeah.
he's.
I mean, they have
Eric
fantastic
Ebron.
tight end group, definitely. Ebron, and then they have Doyle, who was injured last year.
Can
I mean,
you
their
even
tight ends
call it
are,
a terrific tight end group when
Oh.
all you do is complain about them on fantasy?
dude. Okay, fantasy football tight ends are different. I hate tight
Oh,
ends.
yeah.
I drafted 4 tight ends, and then either I
what?
trade. Yeah, no.
Wait, hold on. That's your first problem right there. You
No, I
drafted
didn't draft 4 tight ends.
That's like drafting 4 kickers.
Hey, I will trade for kickers if I want. All right.
Remember
but
when I
anyways, no,
drafted?
I drafted 2.
I think it was the year I won the league. I drafted Matt Prater in like the 5th round.
Oh, well, it's Matt Prater.
I think
he's the
was
best.
it the year I won the league or was the year after? Because I drafted Prater and
Yeah, you got him pretty early.
Yeah.
I drafted him ridiculously early, and I won. So
All
Know,
that matters is a win.
another kind of signing that I thought was interesting was the Honey Badger. He went to the Chiefs.
even more interesting is who they got rid of.
D Ford.
No, Eric. Well, yes,
Eric
but Eric Berry.
Yeah,
Eric
Eric Berry's
Berry.
gone.
Who? Well,
And they got rid of Justin Houston.
I think. Well, I don't know what Kansas City.
Tyrod Taylor
Kansas
to the
City is buying into the all offense and no defense.
Well, they're
Which and
changing
you've
their
seen
defensive scheme.
it doesn't help.
Yeah, well, they're changing their
Yeah.
defensive scheme, so they were like, D Ford doesn't fit, so they traded him. I'm like,
Well,
I don't
he
care.
doesn't fit on the correct side of the line of scrimmage. We found that out the hard way.
Yeah, don't talk about
And then there's Arizona. That's just.
Oh, poor
Falling apart.
Arizona.
that.
Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians leaving was the
That was the final stretch.
well.
I don't know why Larry's still there.
Get out
Looking
while you
like
can,
Larry.
Larry.
Take your money. and
Another
leave.
year, why not?
Well,
Why-
why
yeah,
not?
why
Look at
not?
the
Let's-
team.
Let's just get more brain damage. Why not?
He's just down there at 60.
And
I
the
got
brain da-
another year. I'm
No,
still
The
the
brain
best wide
damage isn't
receiver.
even CTE at this point. It's just playing with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I think he's having
a
fun.
mixture
It's
of
just I think he deserves a ring, man.
He does. I feel so bad for him, and he wants to finish his career with the Cardinals, but he isn't going to win a ring there.
Imagine if he went to the Saints, man. Or,
Oh, God, I'd hate him then. I hate New Orleans. Their fans are terrible.
Oh man, I like the Saints.
I don't even care if it's
Brees.
controversial. What they did after the NFC Championship is ridiculous. It was a bad call, but are you going to forget every single other call in the
Yeah.
game and the fact that your team had multiple chances to put it away and it was your own fault that you didn't do it? You had the ball to begin overtime and you screwed it up.
And you should have lost to the Eagles anyways.
You should have lost to the Eagles. Like, how lucky can you be? And it was kind of like, who was the last team you can remember consistently that lucky and they ended up winning a Super Bowl?
Football. I don't know. You asked me to memorize things I don't know.
It's not memorization. It's just like off the top of your head. Can you remember a team that was consistently lucky and ended up winning the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
And I mean, no.
The Eagles.
I can't.
Stupid Packers. They were a wild card team.
I know they
just
were
did
a wild
stuff.
card team. And that wasn't luck. They beat everyone. They blew everyone out up until Chicago in the NFC Championship. Why are you shaking your head?
'Cause I don't like the Packers.
That doesn't mean it's wrong.
It's wrong. I can say it's wrong if I want to say it's wrong.
You can. It doesn't make it right, though.
There you go.
Oh, make it wrong. Never mind.
Yeah.
Darn it.
So I'm right in the long run.
No, you're not. You're never right.
You just said I'm right, ladies and gentlemen. I win. I'm leaving the podcast. I'm
Well,
the
I still have-
ultimate champ.
I still have Blake, so.
Blake,
Hi.
leave.
Oh, okay, bye.
Whoa. No, Blake, come back.
I'm back.
We don't want you to leave.
All right. What's the next topic? I'm kind of getting bored of football. The Browns are bad. They won't make the playoffs.
We didn't even
Next
talk about the
question.
Browns, but
Yeah,
they're
but they're
good.
not making the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we did. We kind of mentioned them.
We mentioned them.
Yeah, but they're not making the playoffs. Kind of like the Mets.
Do I even want to talk about hockey?
No.
Well, the Avalanche suck.
Well, the Avalanche suck. They play tonight. They're going to lose next conversation.
They're playing Anaheim. They
so they're
should
gonna
win.
lose. So
Actually,
next conversation.
Honestly, I don't know.
They're
I haven't watched hockey that
Like
much this
what,
year,
2 or
so-
3 points out? I've tried to stay as far away from them as possible after they lost to
Calgary.
not Calgary, Carolina. Yeah.
Oh my.
Calgary, Carolina.
Yeah.
They're
It's not
two
looking
Cs.
good.
I know it's not looking good.
It's really not looking.
Look,
I
it's
good.
know
Chicago coming.
I know it's not
oh
looking
no.
good. I know. That's why I didn't want to talk about it.
Edmonton's nice.
Go San Jose.
Who are they playing?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just looking at the
Oh.
standings.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
San Jose or Calgary outside of Nashville. Nashville and New
Let's make a prediction. Who's gonna win the NHL Cup? Go.
Hockey
Lightning. Jaden, say a name.
team. A name.
Definitely the Los Angeles Kings. They're the best team. They are.
Did you just say the Kings?
Yes, they've
Oh,
won
okay.
25
I can
games.
respect that. Definitely.
Almost every other team has done that. So they're gonna
Except
win.
Ottawa,
But
probably,
they've done
right?
it the less of the time. They've done it the best.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't watch a lot of hockey, so
I'm gonna go with Washington again because I like the Capitals.
Yeah, I like Washington.
I want
think they're good.
Ovechkin to get another one so I can
Ooh,
see
Vegas
him party.
plays Dallas tonight.
Pittsburgh's always good.
so
though.
go Vegas.
No.
Pittsburgh's always. Boston's always.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I don't know.
all that plays. Oh wow.
Are you just gonna say all the teams are really good?
Yeah, you know, Ottawa, Detroit, Buffalo. Yeah, I don't know.
So the Caps took the lead back in the Metro over the Isles.
Let's go with the Metro.
Tampa Bay's already clinched. They have
Mhm.
112 points. The next closest team is at
Washington.
94.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
They have an 18-point lead for the President's Trophy. That's 9 wins. Are you kidding me? They have 12 games left.
And
Actually,
the Capitals
Tampa
are
Bay-
still gonna make it out of the East.
Tampa Bay has 11 games left, and they'd have to go like 2-9, not pick up another point in those in those 9 losses to go even have a chance at losing the President's Trophy. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would put money on Tampa Bay to win the President's Trophy.
You know what's sad?
That's a ballsy bet.
Arizona might make the playoffs over the Avalanche.
Yeah, that's
Arizona.
unfortunate. That's not. We are
They have hockey
2
there.
points back of Minnesota. Oh crap!
Yeah, it's.
I didn't
bad.
know Arizona won again. I thought we
Yeah.
were only 4. I thought we were only 3 or 4
So,
points
yeah,
back.
you know, 5 points back.
we
We're
won.
5 points back now, but we have a game in hand of Arizona and Minnesota. And St. Louis dropped back down into the wild card, but they're
Man.
actually St. Louis is only 7 points. The thing is the Avalanche with their schedule, they play Arizona, they play St. Louis, they play Dallas,
They play all these teams. Yep.
they play Minnesota again. I think. Did I say Minnesota twice?
No.
You did.
Oh. You
Um,
did. I was paying attention.
they. I think I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that they will have a chance to make up points against every single one of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on them. It's not something where they
Just like
it's-
last year.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It is out of their control, but if they win the games they need to win, they still have a shot, and they have a decent shot at it. What I would say is they've shown absolutely nothing to prove to me that they are capable of winning those games.
Mm.
The last huge game they played was Carolina, and they got shut out 3-0. They played a big game against Dallas, and they lost 4-0.
Go down. No, I just wanted you to move down.
Oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to see where Colorado was. Because then I had a smarty thing to say. Okay, so I was going to say this. You said it's in their control. And I was going to say it's also in Arizona's control, St. Louis's control, Minnesota's control, Chicago's control, and Edmonton's control. So I just, thought I'd fire back with that statement. So that's
Edmonton has a good amount of points.
Yeah,
very
A
nice amount.
nice amount.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's in everyone's control to make the playoffs.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
You know what the crazy part is as soon as you start an NHL season, everyone has a
Oh my
chance
God.
to make
Except
the playoffs.
Ottawa.
Except for Ottawa. Yeah, that's true.
And the Kings.
And the
'cause
Red
apparently
Wings.
the Kings are just awful this year.
Yeah,
They
that's
were bad
okay.
last year. I didn't think they'd be this bad. I'm not happy because the Kings have 58 points. Ottawa has 54. Actually, so Ottawa's clear with 11 games left by 4 points. We need that number 1 overall pick so we can get Jack Hughes. And I still can't get over myself for forgetting Tyler Bay's name.
We're sorry.
Why did I think Alex? I at least once. I'm gonna try once a
It's
week
okay.
to
We can go
just
see a counselor afterwards to
during
go conceal
CU's
yourself.
basketball season. I just randomly yell Bay.
Maybe you're thinking of Baez.
Alex Baez?
No,
Who's what?
Javier.
Why I didn't call him a Javier what?
I don't know. My mind's on baseball.
Would you like to talk about baseball?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
let's do that.
wow.
Okay, well, the Rockies are doing pretty good.
They're gonna make
It's
a World
spring-
Series by
wait.
2021. Did you
It's-
know that?
No,
Spring training.
I don't know. So I think a lot of people.
I'm never
kinda-
gonna let Trevor live that down.
I
What
don't
if
know.
they
I
win?
think the Rockies this year will be interesting. I can't
Oh,
really.
oh yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest concern is the relieving
I
aspect
need
of
relief
it.
after I watch they
relief,
play.
yeah,
I
seriously.
just need to just sit with a hot towel and
But
just
then
forget
we
they
also
played.
Colorado never gets credit for their starting pitchers like Kyle
No, they
Freeland.
never do. You
And,
were right.
I mean, look at his stats last year, man. He was unbelievable.
He
for
was
us.
incredible. And
Everyone thought John
Yep.
Gray was going to be the stud. It was
and he
Kyle
struggled.
Freeland.
The
Yeah.
big thing for me is can Marquez and Freeland continue their development, and will John Gray bounce back?
Yeah.
And I do think Gray will bounce back. I mean, he just has too much talent. It does definitely seem
Yeah, for
like he
too.
gets inside his own head.
Yeah.
He has the talent, but he starts to struggle when he starts to think he can't do it. And that's why going back to the minor leagues and pitching against lower competition to get your confidence back up. That's what's so interesting about baseball. And even we saw it with Tyson Jost with the Avalanche. He was struggling and was sent down to the AHL, and he came back up and started scoring. It's just such a confidence thing. And I don't want to say it's a mental thing because that can be taken so many different ways. But confidence for sure. Because if you're confident that you can get guys out, you're going to get guys out.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be confident to be a professional athlete. If you're not confident, you're not going to succeed. You can't doubt yourself. That's when you start hanging sliders as a pitcher. You're like, well, maybe I shouldn't throw this pitch. That's when you get that 450-foot home run because you didn't throw the slider with conviction.
Yep, gotta be confident in your stuff.
And I think if John Gray can do that, he will return to form that we've seen at times. But Marquez and Freeland are the big question marks. They were sophomores last year, which is kind of funny. You hear of the sophomore slump. Well, they didn't have a sophomore slump,
Yeah.
which is why I'm intrigued heading into junior year for them, how they're going to do.
Yeah. Well,
Will the league have a scouting report on them and be able to figure it out, or will they continue to use their talent and mow them down?
well, it's interesting because the Rockies, they got Arenado back, but then also you got Machado on the Padres. The Dodgers are always a threat, and I don't know, Diamondbacks are not really. Who do they sign?
The Diamondbacks,
Yeah.
Wilmer Flores and Adam Jones.
Okay. Yeah. Well. So I mean, I think we have a really good chance of, obviously we always have a good chance of winning our, the NL West, but I don't know. I think what's interesting, we've got Ian Desmond in center field now. I'm assuming David Dahl will be left field.
Yeah.
Right field.
Blackman will
Charlie
be right.
Blackman.
Dahl will be left.
Then you got
Yeah.
our infield's phenomenal in my opinion.
I'm interested to see who they put at second because obviously Murphy's at first, and then you have Story and Arenado. It
about
won't be
Rogers?
Rogers.
Rogers, you don't think he'll get called up?
He will, but he won't start the season. I think it'll be Hampson or McMahon starting at second.
Hampson was good. I mean, he's not bad.
What I really want to have happen is Desmond to at least be a platoon role with Desmond or something. So
Yeah.
you can have Hampson and McMahon play. Because we saw this. Well, and I really want Tapia to play as well. And that's why it's so difficult. we have a lot of talent, and if it all develops the way we want it to, we've seen flashes of brilliance from Tapia. We've seen McMahon and Hampson all show they're capable. It just kind of comes down to how you use them, and that's what worries me. I don't know how they're going to use them.
Yeah, and I think another question is like the catcher position. I mean, I know we have Ionetta and Walters, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, Murphy too, Tom Murphy.
yeah, I mean, but they're not like phenomenal, and like I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. You're going up against some of the best teams, and I think San Diego is going to be really good this year. I mean, they have talent.
I don't think they'll be great, but in the upcoming years they'll be a contender.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be
coming soon.
I don't think they'll be good this year, but in
Give it a year or two.
20 or 21.
And I think the Giants should just move out because they should just give
sell
up.
their team.
Yeah, they should sell the team. I
Yeah,
mean, they're losing their head coach. They didn't get Bryce Harper.
Their head coach.
Yeah, they're losing their head coach.
You mean manager?
It doesn't matter.
Manager.
It's the same thing.
Oh my God.
Blake, you
Um,
can.
And I'm the sassiest
But
person in the world about
Hold
that.
on.
If I don't care.
No one has signed the GOAT.
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, no one
Yeah,
signed
we
him.
need to sign him.
No, we're not signing Bart. We
Yes.
don't. We have no space for
Bartolo.
Bartolo. We don't have space for him.
We could put him in the rotation, Trevor.
Why would we do that?
Because we need.
He gave up
Bartolo.
5,000-foot
And
home runs
there's
here.
still
Who
Kimbrel.
cares?
Kimbrel and Keuchel are two interesting names to watch.
Bartolo
I mean,
will
the-
sell
I don't know
Don't
where they're
sign.
going to go, but if you're the Rockies, you at least inquire. Because
That'd be sick if we got one of them.
a guy like Keuchel especially
Yeah.
could – he's a veteran presence on the rotation who's a finesse pitcher.
I'd like Kimbrel more because I think we need more help with our
Closing.
closing.
Yeah, I would like Kimbrel too.
But
But
I mean,
just
I
an
don't know
opinion.
if he'll actually come here because of the stigma against pitchers here.
yeah, that's true. I
what
don't
are
know
we
why
gonna-
Wade Davis.
What are we
did.
going to have to do to get rid of that stigma?
Nothing. It's just gonna
You
be
just
good.
saw Freeland and Marcus have success. I think that the whole thing is if you're a good pitcher, you're going to find out how to pitch here.
Or you make this place more attractive by signing players like Arenado. I mean, which we did.
And
So
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'll never get rid
but
of that stigma.
I'm so worried. It's so stupid because you have seen Rockies pitchers have been able to have success here. Jorge De La Rosa most famously. Maybe the pitchers who don't do well here just suck.
Ubaldo as well. Come on.
oh yeah,
Jimenez, De La Rosa, but De La Rosa the most famous.
Josh
he was
Fogg. Don't
I'm-
forget the GOAT.
Jaden. I said
Houston
the player
Street.
who had no, no. We do not mention the name of Houston Street.
You know, De La Rosa's a free agent, so maybe
Nope.
he'll.
Yo,
come.
let's get him.
Nope.
Let's do
Nope.
it. He played for the Diamondbacks last, right?
I know he
He
did.
knows the insides. of
He
the
might have ended
Diamondbacks.
up with the Cubs. I think he was a
He
Cub.
might have. I don't know.
He was a Cub last year at
He
the
was a
end.
bear.
He was a bear.
He was a
I mean, technically, Cubs
He's
are
a baby
bears.
bear. Yeah, a cub.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think.
roll credits.
Who do you think are the contenders right now? for World
No,
Series?
the entire league. No, just kidding.
All
New
30 of
York,
them have a
Boston. I don't want to slide Tampa Bay into contenders quite yet.
They're two. Yeah,
the
they're
AL
two,
Central is weird. I mean, I guess technically Cleveland because they're going to win the division, I would assume. But in a general sense, no. I don't see anyone from the AL Central. Astros in the West. I don't really think anyone else in the West has a chance. Well, actually, no, never mind. Oakland,
maybe?
yeah. Oakland has a
They were good
chance.
last year.
In the East, honestly, like everyone but Miami. In the Central,
And the Mets.
I think
The Marlins. Oh
I think
my God.
everyone in the
Imagine if
Central,
they
not
won.
contenders, but they have a chance to
They
win
won
the
a
division.
division.
And the NL West, you have the Dodgers and Rockies. If the Padres play
Like I said,
a lot better
Padres
than
in
I
a
thought,
little bit, yeah.
they could be. I don't think it's their
I
year
think
yet
the
to
Padres
contend.
will be a wild card team.
They could be a wild card team. I could see
Okay,
that,
yeah,
but
Fair.
I don't see
Yeah.
much further than the wild card round.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the Rockies are winning the World
That's
Series.
baseball talk.
we're almost out of time.
Well, it better
Well-
not be out of time. I want to keep talking to Blake.
Hey
Well,
guys.
do you want to sing with Blake?
No.
I'd love to sing with Blake. Blake, you're singing with me.
Nope.
I've never given this honor to someone.
I
I
have
didn't
to
even
get
give it to
surgery
Dalton.
on my vocal cords.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Wait
care.
a
You're still
minute.
singing.
Huh.
Huh.
I don't think
What's going on?
the 3 viewers that watch this would appreciate you singing.
Excuse me? I've been promoted to
And
5
if anyone made
viewers.
it this far in the podcast,
There's Trevor's
I'd be very
grandma.
surprised.
There's Roz.
That's my grandma. You counted her twice.
No, there's the
Trevor's
other grandma on the
grandma.
other side.
No, she doesn't watch this. I don't think.
Well, then Roz, you're the best.
Should we give a
Oh.
shout out to anyone?
I would give a shout out to my cousin, but I don't know who I'm allowed to tell about it. So I'm not going to say anything.
Oh.
Congrats on the first.
Oh my gosh. We got breaking news in the studio.
No.
Who's Pregante?
No, that's
Oh,
no. That
Oh
is
no,
that is
this has
not
gone
it.
wrong.
And that
Overruled
shout out to
podcast
me.
gone
My
wrong.
that,
birthday's
that's not
next
even
week.
that doesn't even mean pregnant,
Pregante?
isn't it? Doesn't
Pregunta?
that mean question?
No,
I mean, that's
pregunta,
preguntas, but
yeah.
isn't
You got that
I
from
don't know
the video.
what Pregante is. Oh yeah, from PewDiePie, of course. The Lord and Savior. Remember to subscribe.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Champions League.
Oh, I thought
well.
you were off that. We didn't talk about PewDiePie. I'm like, well,
the Champions League. It's a lot of soccer.
Well,
Ronaldo
actually,
scored a hat trick to push his team ahead of, what was it, Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid.
That was a heck of a performance. And then you had the brace from Messi. So, yeah.
Fun performances.
Yeah. You
So-
got to respect the GOATs.
Next week, are we going to have anyone on?
No. Well, maybe the athletic director.
I don't know.
Sure. I have to
maybe I'll call
reschedule.
in.
That
Oh,
could work.
Wow.
We might have
Oh,
Kyle
hold
call
on.
in too.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I don't want
We'll
you to
see.
call, so leave me alone.
We'll see how we work that.
Sure.
But you know what time of the show this is?
This is everyone's favorite. They just skip to this
For the
part.
3 viewers that want.
I skipped to this part.
Yeah, I'd skip to this part. I love this part. Oh no, I don't know what we talked about. I need a recap.
Oh, I got
No,
you.
don't give him a recap. Make him think of it on his own as it's happening. It'll be so much funnier this way, Blake. Okay.
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 So for Blake Fry and Jaden Riak, I'm Trevor Blanek.
Let's go,
Thank you
Zags.
for listening to Overruled. Is this episode 5?
I don't know what I'm.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yes. Yes. It's 5.
Say it with confidence.
My lucky number.
It's 5 or 4 or 6 or 7. It's a number above 0, but not in the negatives.
Alrighty then. So
I've been such a headache today. I'm sorry. West Virginia.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been annoying today. Will
I'm done.
Greer still's amazing QB.
Oh, jeez. Without the headphones, it sounds even worse. Oh, my gosh.
Let's go Champions League. We didn't talk soccer at all. Gonzaga sucks.
don't.
They won't make the Sweet 16. Actually, they will.
Because you're going to the Final
Go
Four.
Nuggets. I like Jokic. Jokic is a good guy. LA Mountains. Go Nuggets. The Rapids play again here soon. Make sure to tune in.